Going through a lot, but I'm here, come and talk to me. It feel like you suffocating, like you forgot how to breathe. If you take your life, then you won't never get the chance to see who you really are and the person that you was meant to be. Every single day you fighting and you tired of feeling pain. People never really understand, cause y'all not the same. You don't get the picture, cause it's like they cropped you out the frame. Now you got a pistol that's loaded and pointed at your brain. Put the gun down and listen to me quick and picture this. People at your funeral, your family crying, having fits, but you probably never thought that you would be the one they miss. Understand that your life is special like an angel's kiss. If you're feeling like that you need help, you should come and ask. Put yourself first and never let nobody put you last. Every day above ground is blessed, do not let it pass. And the real always die young, they always go too fast. Moving through your life and you just trying to find your place. Never think bad about yourself and never self-hate. You the perfect version of yourself that God chose to make. Just remember that, and we all know that God don't make mistakes. I salute and I see everything that y'all going through. Y'all be going through the most pain, but still can play it cool. But you're not alone at all, and I'm always here for you. I just hope these words touch you, that's the least that I can do. Hey,
what's going on, guys? I'm Jaye the Black. Salute to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about a 22-year-old woman who lost her life after her quote-unquote boyfriend, Billy Bennett Adams, aka Ace. Is it NH? He's a rapper out of Tampa. He's a struggle rapper out of Tampa. He had just recently been acquitted of harming two other men. He was on trial and he was acquitted, right? He won his freedom, only for him to then go and do this to this woman who was pregnant. Now, one of the things that's really bothered me, and her name is Alana Sims, or was Alana Sims. She was a mother of one child already who was there when everything happened and they were sleeping, but she was also 5 months pregnant. Okay. Now, one of the things that I have not gotten clarity on is the fact that this dude, less than a week ago or so, was cleared of charges of harming two other men. Now, was he out on bail? Was he in jail still? I haven't gotten clarity on that, because if he was locked up for the previous 5 months or so, because this happened in 2020, how was he able to get her pregnant? Because he believed he wasn't the father. And if he was in jail at the time, then I would say that he's not the father either. But to me, at this point, it doesn't matter, because innocent woman lost her life. 22 years old. She was lured to a party to celebrate this moron being acquitted of charges of harming other people, and ended up harming her. All right. See, this is the problem I have in our society. You have these young black men who get a second chance. They get a second chance, and what do? They ruin it because they get in their emotions. If you didn't want to be with this woman, if you didn't believe the child was yours, all you had to do was break up with her and get a DNA test. What is so hard about that? Why would you end this woman's life? Ending this woman's life does not tell me that you want to break up with her. It tells me that maybe she wanted to break up with you. Because this isn't the behavior of somebody that was trying to break up with somebody. This is not the behavior of someone that wants to stay away from somebody. Maybe she didn't want anything to do with you. Maybe the baby wasn't yours. And maybe that's what was pissing you off and has you stewing. And one of the first things you do when you get your life back is to take the life of somebody else. I would not be surprised if you were guilty of what you were being accused of a couple of years ago. The funny thing about this guy is that I'm not sure yet. I may play a video at the beginning of this of him rapping, but he put up a rap video. He put up a video of himself freestyling in 2019. It was very uplifting, right? Only for him a year later to rap about being a thug, going out here, living that street life, right? It's almost like he wanted to live, this certain lifestyle. And that situation happened in 2020 gave him that. I saw that he had 30,000 followers on Instagram. I don't know why 30,000 people are following this guy, but they are. right? And honestly, maybe he did get, and again, we're going to get into particulars of that case, but to me, this guy had a second chance and he blew it because he got in his emotions. I honestly don't believe that he was trying to separate from her. I believe she may have been trying to separate from him. This guy was on trial, and the first thing in his mind is, I'm going to get out and I'm going to confront her, right? That had to be on his mind. I told y'all, these black males are emotional. These black males are broken. Something is wrong with the westernized black male. They are a broken group of people. And yes, I'm black, so you don't have to tell me. I'm a black male. But something is wrong with these guys. The first thing that you do after you are acquitted, you're given a second chance, is you end the life of your quote unquote girlfriend. And that was because you didn't want to be with her no more. Man, who believes that? Who believes that? Now, maybe it is true, but to me, this isn't the actions of somebody that doesn't want to be with somebody. Bro, you absolutely destroyed whatever life you could have had because of your emotions, because you males are highly emotional. You lured that girl there. You so weak that you can't leave this girl alone. You're that weak that you're like, the only way I could truly separate myself from her is to end her life. Let's get into this article from the Tampa Bay Times. Billy Bennett Adams III, a hip hop artist who performs as Ace NH and who was acquitted last month of the fatal double homicide in 2022, was arrested again Wednesday, this time on charges related to the January 27th death of a pregnant Tampa woman. Adams, who's 25, took the life of Alana Sims, who was 22, on January 30th and left her beside her parked SUV in a new Tampa subdivision called Easton Park. The Tampa Police Department said Wednesday her toddler son was found unharmed, sleeping in a car seat in the vehicle. That's a good thing. Adams once again is facing first-degree murder charges. He also faced a charge of taking the life of an unborn child by injury to the mother, police said. Sims' family publicly confirmed that she was the victim in this case. Tampa Police Major Mike Stout said in a news conference Wednesday afternoon that Sims had been lured to what was said to be a party to celebrate Adams' acquittal. This guy couldn't wait to get out of jail to confront this woman. She considered Adams to be her boyfriend, Stout said, which is interesting because, I mean, was he on bond? Like, was he on bail during this time? It's interesting. And believed he was the father of her unborn child. A passerby found her at about 10 p.m. lying by the roadside of the 10,700 block of Pictorial Park Drive. She was struck. Stout said she was 5 months pregnant. It is unclear if Adams was indeed the father. That's the one thing that's the really unknown, other than why he did it, was, is he the father of the child? Because again, this guy was in a trial, you know. Police believe the motive was that Adams didn't want to be in Sims' life anymore, Stout said. Maybe that is true. Maybe he, didn't want to be with her, but why take her life though? If you don't think you're the father, then get a DNA test. You can't wait for the DNA test to draw your conclusion. Not to say that you should take her life, but like, come on, man. These dudes are way too emotional. When detectives first questioned him, Adams told them he hadn't seen Sims in a while, didn't know if he could be the father of her child, and hadn't heard she was deceased. Stout said he denied being in the area where she was struck, but police said they obtained video showing his car near the crime scene. Police said he later admitted to the incident. Further details about the investigation were not immediately available. The slang appears 3 days after a Tampa jury found Adams not guilty of the 2020 incident where two men lost their life in the L0SE recording studio. It took the panel of 6 men and 6 women about 4 hours to acquit Adams of 2 counts of the first-degree murder charges. They apparently heated arguments that Adams took the life of Trevon Arbery and Daniel Thompson in self-defense. It was a stunning conclusion to a week-long trial that Hillsborough Circuit Judge Christopher Sabella said was at very least a close call. The jury did find that you are not criminally responsible for that, but I certainly hope that you find yourself in the future never in a situation that may involve anything like this, Sabella told Adams after the jury's verdict. Well, he's probably going to end up in that man's court, and they're going to throw the absolute book at him. The judge told Adams to stay out of trouble. I don't ever want to see you back in here in this courthouse, he said. Well, he's going to be back there because this is one dumb idiot. A pivotal moment in the trial came when Adams took the witness stand and calmly explained why he took the life of Arbery and Thompson. He described how a late night music session in the small Lutz recording studio turned tense when he overheard the pair talk about robbing the studio's owner, Joseph Meeks. He said he saw Arbery pull out a weapon and pointed at Meeks, who sat unaware of the danger. I pulled out my weapon and I struck Mr. Arbery, Adams said, in fear for Mr. Meeks being struck or myself being struck. Thompson then reached for Adams' weapon. He said Adams struck him twice in the face. I was in fear that he would have struck me or Mr. Meeks, Adams said, so I struck Mr. Thompson back to back. Adams was free on bail for most of the 2 years that the earlier case was pending, but he was restricted from leaving his parents' new Tampa Bay home and subject to the electronic monitoring of his movements. He also was forbidden from possessing a weapon and had to turn over his concealed weapons permit. Those restrictions ceased when he was found not guilty. Had the jury convicted him, Adams would have received a mandatory sentence of life in prison. Instead, he walked out of the court that day with his attorneys escorted by sheriff's deputies. Adams, who has more than 30,000 followers on Instagram, released an album on February 1st, Underground Icon. Its cover included an image of a news story headline about his previous case. On Wednesday, his Instagram had been made private. A Tampa police news release quoted Hillsborough State Attorney Susan Lopez saying her office had worked closely with the department since the night of Sims' death. While we respect the verdict of the jury in the prior case, we disagree with it, and that is why we prosecuted him, Lopez said in the release. We will continue to work with the Tampa Police Department to prosecute him for these latest crimes. So he was out on bail. They said most. So I'm assuming that in the previous 5 months, he was out on bail, which is very interesting because in some states, they don't let you out. You know, you have to serve that time. You got to sit in jail. You know, they ain't gonna let you out on bail. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen because it does, but it's just very interesting for what he was being accused of. The fact that he was still let out on bail. So, you know, that could be why, you know, she had gotten pregnant and why, you know, they had been dating and how she could have gotten pregnant by him or he's believing somebody else, right? Let's listen to what the family had to say. This according to Court TV. It says Tampa police are investigating after a pregnant mother was found deceased next to a vehicle with a sleeping toddler inside. Police said the victim, identified 22-year-old Alana Sims, was found with upper body trauma. On January 30th, Sims' toddler son was found sleeping in his car seat uninjured. Shaliva Sims said her daughter, who was a quiet, loving, bright spirit, was expecting. It's the most unbearable thing you can imagine can happen, Sims said. She was already pregnant, so my unborn grandchild, I miss her too. Even if she wasn't here, I'm still going to miss her, she said. In the midst of their grief, Alana's family said they are also giving thanks that her toddler was found safe. He's among loved ones running around, and he's happy, said Sims. Well, that's good. The family said they are working to raise money to bury Alana, but they are doing so with many unanswered questions about her death. At this point, all Tampa police have confirmed is that she was found with upper body trauma. We just want all of this to come out to a conclusion so we can close that chapter and begin a new chapter, said Sims. Tampa police are asking for, okay, so this is something earlier. So I just want to go over what the family had to say. This guy, he just absolutely blew it, man. Some people don't deserve second chances. Billy Bennett Adams III didn't deserve a second chance. This guy was on trial. His freedom was on the line. And the first thing he chooses to do is to confront his girlfriend because he doesn't want to be with her anymore. Bro, if you don't want to be with her anymore, then stop talking to her. You dudes have absolutely no game. You dudes are out here. You don't know how to deal with women. And your justification for what you did is because you didn't want to be with her no more. How about you stop sleeping with her? How about you stop talking to her and move on? There's a lot of weak male energy these days. No wonder these women are so bold and are so masculine, because you guys have lost it. You have absolutely lost it. Billy Bennett, I'm not going to call you by your rapper name. Billy Bennett Adams got a second chance at freedom, and he cared more about trying to stop his girlfriend from being with him, that he lures her with her child in the car to break up with her. Sir, this is why guys like you will always fail. This guy got a second chance at freedom and failed at that. I honestly think this might be, there's irony here. I think there's karma here. Maybe just the universe just was speaking against you, bro. They didn't want you to win out here. Because for you to make, no, I'm not going to blame anything. I'm going to look at what this guy has done directly. And the fact that he has chosen to ruin his life, all because he got in his feelings, all because he couldn't walk away. And he wants to say it, well, you know, I'm not the father of the child. I didn't want to be with her anymore. What does that tell you? That tells you that maybe he didn't want her to have that baby. Maybe he wanted her to get an abortion and she refused to do it. And I believe that's why he did what he did. That's my opinion. So for any supporters of this guy that want to DM me in their feelings, this is my opinion, and I don't care about yours either. This guy is exactly where he should be. He got lucky. And guess what's going to happen in this situation? The families of those men who he said tried to rob him, maybe they did, right? Because I'm not somebody who is going to take the side of criminals. If those men tried to rob him or this other guy, then I can't feel sorry for them in this situation. I can't. But the family is definitely, I believe, going to be at this new trial that he's going to have. And they're going to be happy that he's going to be incarcerated. This all could have been avoided. All he had to do was walk away. Why is it so hard for these guys to walk away? Unbelievable. Let me know in the comment section, let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll see y'all next one.